What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into episode 149, everybody. I am your host, SleezBall. Today's episode is going to be my defense and kickers top 10 each, plus one streamer. And bye-mageddon, guys, is upon us. There are 6 teams on a bye this week. You have the Atlanta Falcons, Buffalo Bills, Bengals, Jaguars, Saints, and Jets. And it is crunch time for the playoffs, guys. These are going to be crucial pickups and plays you need to help you win this week. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you smash that like, make sure you smash that subscription, turn that bell on. It helps me out a ton. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support this season. I will be live again Thursday to Monday. If you guys cannot make any of the live streams, you can drop any comment you want down below. One of my goals is to answer every single one of them for you guys to help you get that weekly win and get you that ultimate goal of a championship, guys. And let's dive into my defense and kicker rankings for week 12. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my kicker and defenses board here for week 12. I will not use the baller tier. I will use tier 1 and tier 2 for all the kickers. And then I'll use my streamer in tier 3. And then tier 4 and tier 5 in my top 10 defenses. And my streamer defense will be back in tier 3 as well. And I'll tell you about why I like the streamers that I like this week. And what I look for when I'm looking for defensive rankings or kicker rankings is usually grunge matches, high total points over under, or rivalries. Like if you watched the Pittsburgh Ravens last week, how he got 6 field goals for Chris Boswell. That's interesting facts you have to look at in fantasy football. And we're coming into playoff time here, so it's crunch time to know all the little things that help you in fantasy football. So let's dive into my kickers here to start it off, guys. My kicker number 1 on the week is going to be Kaimi Fairbairn. So this guy is just an absolute field goal monster. The matchup they're about to get is unbelievable here. And this is what you have to look for. So when you're looking at the Texans this week, they're heading, they have the Titans coming into town. And a good red zone defense the Titans carries with them. I know that you might not have, Ladarius Sneed out there. Could be more opportunity for Nico Collins, who got that touchdown call back on the first play of the game, which is absolutely insane. But the Titans, when you're going up against the kicker, they get down to the red zone, then they lock it up, and then you start to get field goal attempts. They have a very good front 7. So right now, they currently rank 20th, allowing 8.9 kicker points a game, which is what you want with Kaimi Fairbairn. Number 2 here is going to be the guy that I had last week as a smash play. And man, the Lions just keep scoring touchdowns. It's absolutely crazy. But you get the Indianapolis Colts here. And the Colts on the season right now, they give up 9.1 to the kicker. And I know you might get, 4 or 5 touchdowns, which are extra points, which you hate. You're just hoping in this game, when you're looking at the over-under at 49.5 with Anthony Richardson being back, that your defense could possibly get some picks and that you're possibly going to have field goal attempts here in this game. You're going to be in a dome as well, so the weather's not going to affect anything here. And I just don't see the Lions scoring 7 touchdowns every single game. They have to get some field goal attempts here, and I really, really like Jake Bates this week. Number 3 is going to be the guy I just talked about, coming off 6 field goals last week. Unbelievable. I had Russell Wilson as a smash play. It was not a smash play for Russell Wilson. I apologize there. And now you have another grunge match division game here. You have the Browns and the Steelers hard-nosed hitting. I know they traded away Zadarius Smith. That's going to hurt the Browns defense a little bit here. But still, when you have a division game like this in the cold, Chris Boswell's been a kicker in the cold for years, almost a decade now. He's a very good kicker, obviously, getting 6 field goals last week. I see him getting another 3+ field goals this week. And the Cleveland Browns defense, they only give up 7.4 kicker points a game, but still, in this game with Steeler defense and how they get the ball back, Chris Boswell is probably going to be a top 10 kicker the rest of the way, regardless of the matchup. Number 4 is going to be Cameron Dicker, the kicker, and here's why. Look at last week, Baltimore Ravens, right? What happened? Chris Boswell kicked 6 field goals. So the Ravens defense is very bad. They're very bad versus the quarterback, very bad versus the wide receiver, which is why I had Russell Wilson on a smash play, which did not happen. Now you get the Chargers at home versus defense, and maybe we see a little, revamped Baltimore Ravens defense here down the stretch where they get better in the red zone, but they allow 10 kicker points a game. Cameron Dicker is going to be a top 4 kicker for me this week. Number 5 is going to be Austin Siebert, and you have to pay attention to the injury updates here because it could be Zane Gonzalez. We don't really know yet. He was ruled out last week, ruled out the week before. and not put on IR. So it's kind of random to me that he could be back this week. But you get the Dallas Cowboys to give up 9.5 kicker points. The Dallas Cowboys offense is absolute shambles. You saw it last night. You'll probably get turnovers from the Redskins D, more opportunities. And Austin Seibert is going to be a smash top 5 kicker for me this week. Kicker number 6, Jason Sanders. The Dolphins are fighting for their season right now. They get the New England Patriots, guys. And all you have to look at is how many points he got last time versus the Patriots, right? So he just came off 11 points last week, which is a great showing for him. He hit the 50-yard bomb at the end. But when you look back, and this is at New England, now they're in Miami, so it's not really going to be that cold in this game. When I look back at it, he had 11 points and 4 field goal attempts and missed one last time. So again, you're going to have enough volume here to where Jason Sanders is a smash play, and he was my streamer last week and got 11 points, so that was a nice hit there. Number 7 is going to be Jake Moody, the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Green Bay Packers only allow 6.7 field goal points per game. I know that's not great, but you have the 49er offense, and the 49ers coming off a bad loss last week, losing to Seattle. You're going to have Christian McCaffrey, who's already pissed off talking at his press conferences. I think the 49ers are going to move the ball very well, and they own Green Bay. They've owned Green Bay for the last 4 to 5 years, even in the playoffs, and I expect Jake Moody to have a big game here. Number 7 is going to be Will Lutz, and you get the Las Vegas Raiders. There's nothing you'd rather have for anybody in fantasy football that you own unless you're playing the Las Vegas Raiders. It's the best matchup you can get pretty much across the board. Their season is done, right? So when you're looking at the Raiders, they give up 10.1 kicker points, which ranks 30th in the NFL. The Broncos defense is lights out. They're going to get him the ball back more. Bo Nix is playing out of his mind. QB7 as a rookie, which is crazy. This is going to be a perfect game for Will Lutz and someone you should be snagging off the waiver wire if even available tonight. Number 9, sorry, he's back in the top 10, Brandon Aubrey. And this matchup is going to be great. I even thought about putting him higher. You saw him miss a first field goal last night where he kind of slipped on the kick. But still, if you look at what happened, they got a little production from him. They got a little bit down the field there. Cooper Rush looked a little bit better. I don't know why they don't have Trey Lance in yet. But you get the New York Giants. The New York Giants do not know what is going on at all. Don't get the Giants, get the Commanders. So a division game here, like I'm talking about. Giants, Commanders. I want to say Redskins because it's stuck in my head forever. But in this game, it's probably going to be a grunge game. You haven't seen Jaden Daniels play very well the past 2 weeks. Cowboys could get healthy on defense as well. They could get Bland. They could get, I forget the number 27's name back as well. They missed 2 corners last night, or Lewis. They get Jordan Lewis back as well, which will help them out. And I think this could be a close game where field goals come into handy, and this guy can kick a 70-yard bomb. So he's still going to be in my top 10. Last but not least, coming off the bye, Chase McLaughlin. So he's most likely on your waiver wire right now because most people drop their kickers on a bye week. You get Mike Evans back, and this is the game I was talking about. You get the New York Giants. The New York Giants offense is now going to be ran by Tommy DeVito. Baker Mayfield and the Bucs need to get this win to fight back, so they're going to take every point opportunity they can to get back in the playoff contention. And you know the New York Giants offense cannot move the ball for nothing, man. Now, moving into my streamer kicker here. I had 2 in mind. So this is going to be my first one. I'm only going to put 1 up, but I'll talk about 2. It's going to be Joshua Carty. And honestly, I think that the Los Angeles Rams are going to win this game versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I just have a feeling, right? So what you have to look at here is last game they scored all touchdowns versus the Patriots. That's not going to happen versus the Eagles. They are moving the ball. But then if you look back at the Miami game the week before, where it's a different kind of game like the Eagles game will be, he had 18 points. You're at home. There's no cold weather. Great matchup here. I like Joshua Carty. I also like the Kansas City Chiefs kicker. I think it's Schrader. I want to say his name is. I don't want to get it wrong. Cody Schrader. No, not Cody Schrader. Sorry. Spencer Schrader. So Harrison Butker ruled out. This is just me talking about a random streamer here. Last week, he gets 3 points. They get all touchdowns versus the Bills. But now you get the Carolina Panthers, who give up 9.8 kicker points a game. So Schrader is someone you should be looking at as well. Sticking with that same game here, starting with the defenses. My number 1 defense is giving me the Kansas City Chiefs. They're a top defense all the way around versus the quarterback, versus the running back, versus the wide receiver. They struggle versus the tight end. But you're going against Carolina and Bryce Young. He's in for a nightmare game. The Chiefs are coming off a loss to Buffalo. They're pissed. They're going to get after him. And Bryce Young's going to really, really struggle in this game. Number 2 is going to be the Denver Broncos. And the Denver Broncos, guys, they're for real. I mean, I definitely missed on this before the season started. I did not see them even getting to 8 wins. I think they're going to get to 8, maybe 9 wins here, maybe be a playoff team with Bo Nix, which is crazy. But you get the Las Vegas Raiders, 2-8, season's falling apart. Both their running backs went down last week in Zamir White and Alexander Madison. So you'll probably see Amir Abdullah out there. I mean, Jacoby Myers is going to be locked up by Surtain. It might be Brock Bowers only in this game. And I think Denver is going to absolutely feast for 10-plus points easy. Number 3 defense is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are playing the Cleveland Browns. I know Jameis is throwing it all over the yard, but you're not going to throw it all over the yard against Pittsburgh, right? So even if you look at the game versus Saints last week with Winston, there was so many defensive touchdowns that his numbers were inflated because he got the ball more and more and more. They just got to throw it more and more in his garbage time. That's not going to happen versus Steelers. I think Jameis is in for a very, very tough matchup here. Jerry Jeudy is going to draw Porter Jr. I mean, their defense is lights out across the board. J.J. Watt's going to get after Winston, and it's going to be a tough time for him. Number 4 is the Houston Texans. They get Will Levis, the most sacked quarterback in the past 2 weeks. The Houston Texans just came off a defensive touchdown versus the Cowboys last night, getting 16 points. They're one of the defenses I recommended to pick up for the next 3 weeks last week. They have great matchups all the way. And the Texans are going to absolutely light up Will Levis. He's getting for a tough, tough game here. Number 5 is going to be the Minnesota Vikings, the number 1 blitzing team in the NFL. And the Minnesota Vikings are going to get the Chicago Bears at Chicago with the new coaching staff kicking in. Caleb Williams absolutely struggling. They are going to be blitzing like a freaking mad brick, like coming after him like crazy. I think he's in for a very, very tough game here, and I love the Vikings D this week. Number 6 is going to be the Miami Dolphins. 45.5 over under. The Dolphins are fighting for their life. They're going to get Drake May at home. I know that Drake May has been a little better throwing the curve ball. You know, that he can throw it on the sideline, which is amazing to see. But they don't have a lot of weapons. And Ramondre Stevenson, yeah, it's going to be a good plus, rushing matchup for him. But if they fall behind in the game, they won't really rush much. And I think the Dolphins are in for a bounce back. I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. They kind of choked one game away that really could have, set them back into it. But I think they're going to be 5-6 and bounce back into this playoff hunt here this week. Number 7 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you get Tommy DeVito. And if you have not looked into picking up the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense yet, what are you doing? Because their schedule moving forward is absolute gold. New York Giants, Carolina, Raiders. That's the next 3. That's a plus matchup every single time. Then you get the Chargers week 15. That's tough. And then you head to the playoffs with Dallas, Carolina, New Orleans. Go get them now. If you're listening, watching this video, this is why you subscribe to the channel, because you want to get the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, and you'll never have to pick up another defense the rest of the way besides the opening weekend of the playoffs week 15. Number 8 is going to be the Washington Commanders. And we're going to stick with that same game here with the Cowboys. Going to be a grunge game here. I thought about putting the Cowboys defense over, but I didn't. The Washington, since they switched to a single high defense in week 3, they were like a top 32 to 30 defense across the board. Dan Quinn deserves coach of the year. This defense is now like a top 13 to 14 defense. They add Marshawn Lattimore. He may be out there this week. So I really like the Commander D here a ton. And the Cowboys obviously bounce back at home. Now they're on the road. Cooper Rush, I think, is going to get pulled from this game. Even if he's named the starter, I think it's going to be really ugly for the Cowboys. Number 9 is the Chicago Bears. I've been a Bears defense fan the whole year. Their offense is just killing this defense, man. I know they didn't get Brisker back. He obviously went on IR with a concussion that knocked him out for like 8 weeks. So it must be some neurological damage there. Prayers up to him. But you get the Vikings. And you've seen Sam Darnold throw 3 picks before. You're going to see him in the cold here. You're going to see them get after him. They blitz. They get to the quarterback like one of the best teams in the NFL, the defensive line. And I think it's going to be a very, very tough matchup here with Jalen Johnson, especially even on Justin Jefferson. So you're going to have another problem there. And it's going to be a tough matchup for the Vikings. I have the Bears at number 9. Number 10, and this is kind of a dart throw here. I had Anthony Richardson as a smash last week. I was probably the only content creator on the planet that threw that out there. Pat myself on the back for that one. But now you're getting the Detroit Lions. And I know you're in Indianapolis, and I still like Anthony Richardson to have a good game. But the Detroit Lions defense is different. They're going to cause havoc on the line. They're going to get turnovers, and they could possibly take a touchdown of the house in this game. I like the defense at number 10 for the Lions. Number 11 is the Arizona Cardinals, and this is the streamer play that I have of the week right here. So streamer play, a team that's possibly on your waiver wire, a team that, coming off a bye, so no one definitely held the Arizona Cardinals defense, right? But what you have to look at here is the defense for the past 2 weeks versus the Chicago Bears and the Jets. They've had 14 points, guys, each game. So unbelievable amount of sacks, unbelievable amount of holding the, in the red zone to points. They're getting better for some reason. I did not think their defense would even be this good, but you're going to be at Seattle. I know Seattle's offense is good. This is a streamer play throw. Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, JC's Lockett, everyone healthy. K9, I know that. It's just a tough weekend with the Bye-mageddon with, the Jets, Bengals, Saints, Falcons, Bills, Jags, all out. So the shot at a streamer play is really rough this week, but this is the best streamer play I can find if you need one, if your league is competitive and there's no defenses left. Thanks for rocking with me today. That is the end of the episode, guys. Before you head out, make sure you smash that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on so you know when I'm live. Again, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the support. I'm going to try and get my QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end all out today. My waiver wire is out as well if you want to check that out for tonight. All players under 50% owned that can help you out down the stretch. And then I'll get to my stardom, sit-ems, everything hopefully tomorrow before the Thursday night game. Last week I missed 2 of them. Sorry, there's been a lot going on. And we have all the holidays coming up, Christmas, Thanksgiving. So I'm going to try and smash out as much as I can. But if I don't make it out there, life happens. Sorry I didn't make it. I saw a couple comments last time. They're like, you didn't get them out. I'm like, it's hard, man. Sometimes, life happens. So that's it for me in this video. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you guys in the next one. SleezBall out.